horrible year to have a curse. I just want to make video games. We're back. At least, I'm back to working on Aethyr. Aethyr is an action-adventure role-playing game that I've been developing for a very long time. In Aethyr, you're tasked by a mysterious being to uncover the secrets that led to the collapse of this world. You delve into ancient temples built for forgotten gods, discovering the pieces of a missing history. Along the way, you meet and befriend a cast of interesting characters that mark the final remaining remnants of humanity. Built in the vein of games such as Diablo, Morrowind, and Secret of Mana, I hope to capture the feeling of discovering mastery on a grand adventure in the face of unknown dangers. At least, that's my goal. Aethyr has 21 different skills, dozens of unique abilities, and millions of permutations of items to tackle the challenges ahead in a way that's unique to each adventurer. It's a big game. Each encounter acts as a puzzle for you to test your wits, all while exploring a vast and varied world. So it's no secret that I've been gone for quite a while, and there's a reason for that, but I don't want to bog down this video with the details. So instead, in the description below or wherever I post this, you'll be able to read up on that, and hopefully it's understandable. What I do want to do is talk about what I've been working on in Aethyr. There's been a slight visual overhaul, if you couldn't tell. You can see that the lighting is now dithered. This was always the intended look, but I finally got around to messing with shaders. I've also implemented a CRT shader, which is more or less a translation of Zeke's Bjort effects. I think in the same way that graphic designers are known to use paper texture and noise to add life to their renders, pixel art can also benefit from adding texture. Aethyr's pixel art more or less emulates the Game Boy Advance era rather than other retro systems that actually were displayed on CRTs, but I think the human eye just finds flat colors somewhat uncanny, and a subtle CRT shader adds a lot. Of course, this will all be configurable and disableable in the settings. Speaking of shaders, all the visual effects you've been seeing in this video were actually made in Touch Designer. I've never done any node-based graphics work, I've only blindly brute-forced math, so to be able to visualize it has actually been extremely educational. I'm looking forward to implementing techniques I've discovered with Touch Designer into Aethyr. Aim Assist is an often discussed feature, and this video by Tessellator describes a quite elegant solution that I decided to recreate in Aethyr. I think in a perspective where depth and elevation share the same axis, sometimes there's a disconnect between the intent of the player's aim versus what they're actually doing. So I hope this eliminates some perceived frustration, but more so, this will allow players playing on a keyboard to have more than strictly 8 directions to aim projectiles. Characters can now transform into different types of characters. This was actually quite arduous to implement, but here we have slimes that transform into their elemental counterparts depending on what type of damage they receive. This adds a lot of flexibility to the types of enemies I can create, and allows for more complex behaviors like bosses that change form. I'm very excited to play around with the possibilities that this creates. Slowly but surely, I've been chipping away at implementing all the planned abilities and item enchantments. Here's a cool combination of a few new ones. Chain Lightning applies the shocked debuff on all enemies it hits when it's fully charged. Omni Slash hits all enemies within a radius with your sword, and the sword has an enchantment that casts Chain Lightning if it hits a shocked enemy. And when you combine it all together, alright, that's all there is for now, but stay tuned, there'll be more. Subscribe and all that nonsense, and I'll see you next time.